Hey guys, this is Josh from J&M Web Creations. Been quite a while since I've done any videos. Now that I'm actually working full-time in web design, before it was just part-time, but now I'm working full-time in web design, I decided to get some more information out to you guys and just kind of help those who are my clients and others online with some cool little tutorials. Most of them be short and quick and easy, but they might have some valuable information for you. So this first one is going to be actually setting up a cPanel email. If you don't know what that is, you may not have cPanel on your hosting. So let's say you're setting up a new hosting and it does have cPanel. You may want to have emails within that, so you can send people for your business emails, like let's say admin at whatever your URL is for your website. So this is the way to actually set those up. Like I said, this is only for cPanel hosting, and also you need to make sure you have allowed emails by your host. So like I have right now, unlimited emails. Sometimes they may actually only allow you to have one or two, but it would be the same way to set up no matter how many you had, as long as you still have some allowed or are allowed any. With cPanel emails, they're not always as good of deliverability as a G Suite, like a Gmail type business email or a Office, but I do use them all the time. If you set some things up within the hosting and maybe your host can help, the SPIF or the DMARC, those can help with deliverability. I really have no issues with them, though I have seen some people with issues, and that may come to when you have a lot of emails coming in or going out, or things like that. You want to make sure you're not sending spam from these emails or any email really. If you're doing large mailing, you might want to go with something like a MailChimp or some kind of email service like that that gets a list of your people and allows you to send it. This is more just for your day-to-day sending of emails. Maybe it's quotes or something like that if you're a building company, or if you're like me, a website design company, I might send emails just regarding a website or what we need to do. And let's get to it. This is how you're going to set it up here. So right now, here's a cPanel. Like I said, you may have something else on your back end, and it may be a different host that has their own. They may have their proprietary, and it may be like cPanel, so it may be the same setup, though there's another one called Plesk. Most of them are pretty easy to set up emails if you have it. A lot of times you can ask your host as well, but here's just a quick overview of how to do that. You can see this cPanel. All of them may look different depending on what skin they have. This is one of the newest ones that it just switched me over to. I think it's called Jupiter. So it may look a little different. You should have the same amount of information in here and same places you can go. On mine, let's just say it's right up here at the top. I moved it to the top. These can move around so that maybe somewhere else for you. Here's email accounts, so we're just going to go first to email accounts. Then you just wait for it to load. I have some email accounts here for my actual website. I'm going to block these out so you can't see it, or make sure they're not shown. But basically what we have is a real easy create here on the side. All of cPanels should be like that. There should be a create. They may have it look a little bit different, like I said, but there should be a create. And all you're going to do is create. On this domain, you want to make sure it's the correct email, or sorry, the correct URL. If you have, say, add-on domains or different domains in that hosting, there may be more on there. So you want to make sure it is the correct domain you're using. And then all you want to do is put in the username. So if you wanted admin at blah blah blah.com, if that's your URL, you just put that in. So I'm just going to make this one test. And then you put in a password. I'm going to put in that password real quick here. Okay. And then it'll tell you if you have a good enough password strength. You can actually generate a password if you'd like. And then there's some optional settings. You can edit settings. You can say, depending on your hosting, you may be able to say how much you want to use. I'm just going to go unlimited, though this is just a junk email account that I'm going to trash after this. But automatically create folders, that's how I do it. And then send a welcome email with instructions to set up a mail client. So essentially, if you want to, one of my next videos will be how to integrate this into Gmail, so you can easily check it with your Gmail account and send from this email right in your Gmail account. So it's good to have this little thing, and it'll send you some information here. All you do, create, and boom, you are essentially done. So now you have, it's down here at the bottom, so you can see there's nothing in it. You can go in here and now manage, which going to happen there is all your just information. You can reset the passwords, whatever you want to do here. Allow suspend. You can also delete the email account here. And so if we go back, well, then we can see it's here. We can either connect devices, and this information right here, mail client manual settings, allows us to incorporate it into a Gmail or some other mail client. I like to use it with my Gmail account, so that's how I do that. And it has all the information you need. You can check email, and as you can see, there is a few different ones you can use. Roundcube's probably the best if you just want to check in there. There's Horde and Roundcube. There was another one called like Squirrel Mail, and it looks like they've done away with that, or it's not in my version. But I used to use Horde, I use Roundcube, and let's see, we'll just open it with Roundcube. It will send you, you should have an email in here, so at least you know it's working. I would go ahead and maybe send an email from here. You can always just add a new email here and compose or whatever you need to do. There is contacts calendar, but it's nowhere near as good as Gmail. That's why I connect it with that. It's easier to get in my Gmail because I check it all the time. It's on my phone, where this is not. So you can do everything you want in here if you'd like to. Not a big deal. It works pretty well. You can compose stuff. You can make your own emails in here. You can attach stuff. Not as good, I would say, as say Gmail's user interface, but you can do that, and you can even set signatures and stuff like that. So for some people this may work just fine, and like I said, it's super easy. You can get back to your webmail. If you are to check it from here, it's usually going to be your URL, so blah blah blah.com/webmail, and that's usually will get you to where you need to log into it, and then you just put in your email address, and you just put in your password, and you should be able to come right to this just like you were going into Gmail or something. And it's super easy. All of this is going to give you is basically the information to set up your mail client, which I am going to do in another video on how to integrate it into Gmail. Other than that, I think that's probably really good overview of how to implement Cpanel emails. They're super easy. Like I said, they're not always the best. Sometimes you want to have alternate settings in your hosting. You can talk to them about SPIF or DMARC. There might be one more in there that I'm missing, or SPF, I believe it is. I could be wrong. But yeah, you might want to talk to them about how to make the deliverability the best, so it's close to Google, and that people don't just, your stuff doesn't go into spam. And sometimes the spam stuff does come from how you send it. If you send a really small email, sometimes it'll think it's spam. So having a signature might be able to help with that. Having longer emails that don't look like spam, if you're actually sending spam, then that's an issue as well. But hopefully that helps you getting that started if you do have Cpanel on your hosting, which many do. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Thanks.